You know, I bungled on, so you know I wasn't an engineering student, or wouldn't be going into engineering. But for those of us who are from South, they will see Gerald with his father, Creamy, or Fudgy. So I want you to understand where the man is coming from. So it really touched my heart, and when I saw Gerald and his father, Humphrey, no matter what, whichever child went to him, and as students, as children in Mannings, we don't have no money, always go to Humphrey and we could get a cream. So Gerald, it is with much respect that I welcome you here tonight. Please put your hands together for Gerald, the man who wrote Ghetto Bible, the man from Charlotte in South Lamar. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you. I want to first thank the board, thank the Manning's Past Student Association, Toronto chapter, for inviting me to this prestigious event. I'm honored to be a part of this, all protocol observed. Want to make sure that you guys understand. My dad used to sell ice cream at Manning School and sell super loop and nutty body and all different type of stuff. A lot of people know me through him because of the good deeds that he did. And one thing that he taught me when I was young, he said to me, it was very profound. He said, love is what connects people. And when you express love to people, it will come back to you in many folds. And I didn't really understand how profound and how important that is, but that's how I live my life, and that's how I had to reach back and form my own foundation to help people. But I want to acknowledge somebody here today that is part of my narrative and is partly responsible for me being successful in where I am. Auntie Merle, I just wanted to stand up and for me to acknowledge Auntie Merle. And I'm going to tell you the story. When my mom migrated to the Cayman Islands, I was, without a household to really stay and to really shape me and to really give me the kind of tools that I needed. And Hassani was my best friend at the time, who was my schoolmate. And without reservation, Auntie Mary accepted me into her household and accepted me as a son. And basically provided anything that I wanted. And I owe her a whole lot for what she had done. And she's continued to do this to many kids in the community. This lady is a stalwart. I don't think she's been recognized enough, but I do take my hats off to you, Auntie Merle. You are awesome. I thank you so much for what you've done for me and for many other kids. It's funny, she didn't even know that she was actually in the book. There's a picture of me and her actually in the book. And she didn't know that because I wanted to surprise her. But what I wanted to do, a lot of people ask, so why Ghetto Youth Bible? Why did you name it Ghetto Youth Bible? I can't tell you the reason why I named it that, but what I can tell you, in 2001, I wrote a poem. In 2001 that I didn't know that poem would actually be part of the name of this book. But I want to just read the poem so you guys understand where this is coming from. And it goes, it's called Ghetto. Do you know where I'm from? I'm from a small rundown community where kids struggle for existence, where youth struggle to stay alive, where hope means everything. Am I from the ghetto? I'm from a place where parents work hard to send their kids to school, where people struggle to put a roof over their heads, where there's no house, where people struggle to put food on their table, where there's no table, where people depend heavily on the government, where there's no government, where support comes from the dawn of the community. Am I from the ghetto? I'm from a place where education is my only salvation, where there's no education. Where sports bring joy to everyone, where there is no sports, where a game means more than life, where life is a game. Where support is abundant when you triumph, where loss means death. Where victory is the highest point of my day. Am I from the ghetto? I'm from a place where encouragement lives, where poverty lives, where hatred lives, a place where jealousy reigns and people are deranged. Am I from the ghetto? I'm from a place where love means everything, where peace and joy is a dream, where respect for your pair is paramount, a place where I love and you love. Why do you call it ghetto? I'm from a blessed place in the world. And I want you to read my story, the Ghetto Youth Bible, because that's what's made me. And I wouldn't change it for anything else. So I wanted to start off by saying, I grew up with a lot of people from the community shaping my life. You know, I had a terrific mother. I have a great dad who was my biggest fan. I had community people who scold me when I get out of line, and who really embraced me as a person. They didn't teach me everything that I need to know, but basically it's a cumulative effort by a number of folks is responsible for where I am in today's world. One story that I want to tell you is that I have a mom that would never give up on me. And that was part of my inspiration. I remember going to Manning's, doing extremely well. I'm a big sportsman. I was a captain of the football team. I played chess. I was on the school challenge quiz team. You know, I was captain of the table tennis team. I play a lot of sports. You know, I love sports. Did well, extremely well. You know, passed my A levels. Got through to go to the University of the West Indies. But with my finite knowledge at the time, I decided that I wanted to sit a year out of university with zero plans. I didn't have a job. I didn't even apply for a job, but I made a decision without even much information, but that was a stupid decision. So I went over to Manning's, you know, a few times to go and watch soccer football. You know, during the time when university, you started, and, you know, I'm watching football 2 weekends in a row, and went back one day to find my bag packed, my suitcase packed, and my mother said, "You're not gonna be a statistic. You're not gonna fail. You're gonna basically go to university whether you like it or not, and you're going tomorrow morning." So the decision wasn't in my hand; it was in hers. But what happened after was spectacular. I took the bus at the time. You know, you walk in early in the morning. You know, out the head down. Jump on the bus, you know, went to university, went to UE. When I went up there, they said, "Miss Beverly, you're 3 weeks late. Your son has deferred her place," which I didn't tell her that I deferred my place, "to next year, so there's no chance of him getting into the university this year, so he'll have to come back." Well, my mom didn't take that no for an answer. You know, we went back to Ensom City where we were staying with our cousin at the time. And my mom happened to went back up to the university every day for 2 weeks. Every day she woke up and she put her clothes on and she went up to the university. Sometimes she didn't even speak to the dean. She wanted to just sit in a position where she is visible. That's the only thing she wanted to do. And she would put up her hand when he's passing and stuff, telling him that, "Remember me." In 2 weeks, they made a decision. There was 30 people that was on the waiting list. There was 2 persons that they accepted out of the waiting list. It was me and another person called Simone Nels, and I'll never forget her name because her father was the warder for Taylor Hall. She had connections. I didn't, but I was one of those persons. But what I had a mother that didn't take no for an answer. I had a mother that wanted an education more than me. And that was my inspiration. I remember the dean at the time of natural science said to her, "Where is your son?" I was at home watching TV. She came for me and she said, "Put on your clothes. Come, we're going back up to the university. You get through." I'm like, whoa. I'm like, how did that happen? Because I completely give up. Went back up to the university and the dean wanted to talk to me. He pulled me aside and he held me by my hand and pulled me aside. And he said, son, if you fail, I personally will deal with you. Because your mother is the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. At that point, I decided that failure was not an option. Failure was not an option. And from that point, I decided that I was going to get the best degree that I can get. Because at that point, I was no longer doing it for myself. I was doing it for my mother. I was doing it for my family. I was the first one up to go to university for my family. So I had to do it. So these are the inspiration that you need, and these are the inspiration that kids have to hold on to. You know, I say Ghetto, I'm from Ghetto. I was born between two cemeteries. I'm from a place called Charlie, where a lot of my friends no longer exist because they die or they're victim of crimes and stuff and everything. But I didn't settle. I didn't want that to be my narrative. And my mother didn't want that to be my narrative. My mother was uneducated. My mother stopped going to school when she was 13 years old. But she knew the importance of educating her kids. And that's something that I hold on to through my life. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and sometimes we talk about setbacks also, and I will talk about it. There will always be setbacks. So imagine, I grew up playing football for my life. I played football because my dad loved football. Everybody that can tell you that, he's one of the biggest football fans, biggest Mannings fan, biggest arena fan. So going to university for the first year, I finished my first year, and again, because you're young, you're giddy, I don't understand the value of composure and the value of just basically being disciplined. I decided that I want to go and ride bikes, after summer, riding bikes everywhere. My brother had a bike that he borrowed, so I used to ride it everywhere. So one morning, on my way to actually pick up a suitcase, I had a first trip overseas. I got a visa. My uncle decided that he was going to take me to Miami after my first year of university. What happened that morning, I was on my way back. I didn't have a suitcase because nobody from my family ever been to the States or anything. My mom was in the Cayman Islands at the time, so I borrowed a suitcase. Coming back from my friend's house, had a terrible bike accident. I don't know actually what happened, but I know my kneecap, I felt my kneecap was split into two completely. What happened after I went to the Supplemental Hospital, and, they administered some medication, tell me that they have no x-ray machine, and I need to go back home and go to Black River for x-ray the next day. So you can imagine I was in excruciating pain with a piece of board that they used to prop my leg up, and they sent me home. My mom, at the time, we have an aunt that was
Sorry to disturb you 1 quick minute. We have a gray Honda which is blocking a car. I do apologize.